Hello, good morning. It's time for mathematics, and we are going to learn something about numbers. Here, we are going to use multi-base materials to represent numbers. Alright, using multi-base materials to represent numbers. Here, we are going to look at something. Say, let Q equals to a certain figure, and we are going to use a straight edge to also represent another figure, and also a flat surface to also represent another number. So before you can do everything about these numbers, first they will give you what a cube stands for, what a straight edge also stands for, before they will also give you what this flat surface also stands for. So now let's take, for example, we have cube to be 100, then our straight edge to be 1000, then our flat surface to be 10,000. This is my cube. Have a look. This is a cube, and this cube is representing what? 100. And this is my straight edge. This is also representing what? 1000. Then the flat surface. This is my flat surface, also representing 10,000. So before we move on, a question will be given us. Example, we have represent 21,000 using multi-base material. Example, represent 21,000 using multi-base material. So now we know that our 1 cube is equal to what? 100. Our straight edge is equal to what? 1000. Then our flat surface is also equal to 10,000. So we look at the question. Represent 21,000 using multi-base material. Let's look at a simple way to do this. Before we can do this question according to what they have said here, we are going to break this into expanded form. We are going to break this figure into an expanded form. So let's all do it. We have 21,000. A simple way to expand this 21,000 is you pick one figure, then you represent the rest by what? Zeros. You pick one figure. Like when you start from the left, we are going to pick the 2. Then you count the number of figures here. Then you represent the rest as what? Zeros. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to represent the 4 by zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also you pick the 1. The 1, 2 represented by what? Zeros. So now we have 20,000 and 1,000. Now let's come back to what? Our question. The question says to represent 21,000 using multi-base material. Using multi-base material. Now I have my flat surface to be what? 10,000. This flat surface is to be what? 10,000. So they are asking us to represent 21,000 using these materials. So now let's look at our flat surface is equal to what? Our flat surface is equal to 10,000. Now we need 20,000. So how many of this flat surface are we going to use? That means we are going to use 2 flat surface, meaning we multiply 2 by this flat surface. So we are going to multiply 2 by 10,000. And that's going to give us what? 2 1 is what? 2. Then you break your zeros. So you are going to get 20,000. That means we need what? 2 flat surface. And 1 flat surface is equal to 10,000. So we need 1, 2 of the flat surface. Alright, now let's come back to the question. We also have 1,000 here. We have 1,000 here. And this 1,000, let's look at what we are going to do. Our straight egg is equal to 1,000. So since we have 1,000 here, we are going to need what? Only 1 straight egg. So alright. So now we come back to our question. We should represent 21,000 using multi-base material. So how many of the materials are we going to use? Now we are going to use, this is the answer to the question. We are going to use 2 flat material, that's and 1 straight egg. So this is our answer to the question. We are going to need what? 2 flat materials. These are the objects. We are going to need 2 of this and only 1 of this, making what? 21,000. So now, for me to get my 21,000, I'm going to make 2 flat surface and only 1 straight egg, making my 21,000. Because this flat surface represents 10,000, another flat surface represents 10,000. So we are going to have 2 flat surface here, then 1 straight egg, making 21,000. Let's take another example. Alright, so now we have, let 1 cube to be what? 100, 1 straight edge to be what? 1,000, then flat surface to be what? 10,000. Now the question is, Model the number 12,500 using multi-base material. Model the number 12,500 using multi-base material. Now, let's come back to our question. We have the question has given us what? Let 1 cube to be what? 100. One flat size straight edge to be what? 1,000. Then flat surface to be what? 10,000. So now, let's look at the materials that we are going to use. Let's look at the materials we are going to use. There's my flat surface. There's my flat surface representing what? 10,000. There's my straight edge representing what? 1,000. Then this 1 cube also representing what? 100. So now we have to represent 12,500 using multi-base material. So we have to know how many of this cube we are going to use, how many of this straight edge that we are going to use, and how many of this flat surface that we are going to use. Now, I said before we can come back to our question, or before we can answer this question, we have to expand the figure that the question is going to give us. We have to expand. So to expand this easily, you start from your left, you pick the number, then represent the rest by what? Zeros. You pick one number from the left, then represent the rest by what? Zeros. So now we are going to pick the 12,500. We are going to expand this number or this figure. So you pick your 1, then you make the rest of this figure what? 0. We have 4 figures here or 4 digits here. So we are going to pick only the 1, then make the rest zeros. So now let's pick the 2. You have your 2. When you pick the 2, it's left with what? 3 digits. And represent the 3 digits by what? Zeros. 1, 2, 3. Then we move to the next one, which is the 5. You pick the 5 and you represent the rest of the digits by what? Zeros. So now you pick your 5. That one too. You make the rest zeros. So now we have 10,000, 2,000. Then we have 500. 500. Now you come back to your question. We are saying that 1 cube represents what? 100. Then 1 straight edge represents 1,000. Then flat surface represents 10,000. So there's my flat surface. There's my flat surface. One of these represents what? 10,000. And one of this represents 1,000. 1,000. Then 1 cube also represents 100. So now we have 10,000 here, 2,000 here, 500. So we come back to this and look at the number of material that we are going to use to answer our question. So now I have the 10,000. 10,000 also means that we have one flat surface to be what? 10,000. So we are going to need what? Only one of the flat surface. Only one of this. Only one of this. So I will need only one flat material. Then I have also what? 2,000. And 2,000 is what? The straight. 1,000 is what? Our straight edge. So I will need 2 of this straight edge. So 2 straight edge. Alright. Then the last one is what? 500. And we know that 1 cube represents 100. So how many of the cube are we going to need here? How many of the cube are we going to need here? It means that we are going to need 5 of this cube. We are going to need 5 cube. Since 1 cube represents 100, we are going to need 5 cube. And the 5, we are going to multiply the 5 by the number of cube here. And 1 cube represents 100. So 5 times 100, giving us our 500. Then one flat surface is what? 10,000. One flat surface is 10,000. So 1 times 10,000 will give us what? 10,000. Then 2 straight egg. 1 egg is equal to what? 1,000. So 2 straight egg, that means we are going to multiply 2 by what? 2 straight egg. So giving us what? 2,000. Alright, now we have answered our what? Question. The question says we should represent 12,500 using multi-base material. So multi-base material, we are going to answer the question by saying we will need 1 flat material, 2 straight edge, then 5 of the cube. Alright. Let's take our last example. Alright. Now, alright. The question can also ask you to write what? Write the figure for the following. Write the figure for the following. Now they have given us the materials for us to write the number or the figure. So now we know that 1 flat surface is equal to what? 10,000. And 1 straight edge is equal to 1,000. Then 1 cube is equal to what? 100. So now you count the materials here. We have 1, 2, 3 flat surface or flat object. Then we have 2 straight edge. Then 3 of the cube. And we know that 1 cube is equal to 100. And we have 3 here. So we are going to multiply the 3 cube by what? 100. So we pick our 3 times 100. The 100 here means what? 1 cube is equal to what? 100. And we have 3. So we are going to multiply 3 by what? 100. Giving us 300. And also we have 2 straight edge here. 1 straight edge is equal to 1,000. So we are going to multiply these 2 by 1,000. 2 times 1,000. And we are going to get what? 2,000. Alright. Then the last thing to do is what? We have to know the number of flat objects here. We have 1, 2, and 3. So we are going to multiply 3 by 10,000. 3 times 10,000 give us what? 30,000. Now we add these three figures to give us what? Our answer. So 30,000 plus 2,000 plus 300. We add 0, 0, 3, 2, then 3. So now we are going to get 32,300. 300. All right. All right. I hope you are following what we are doing. All right. So this is how the questions are going to be. You can get the materials, and we are going to write the figures for what? The materials, and they can also give you the figure for you to represent by using what? The multi-base materials. All right. So this is going to be the end of what? The lesson. So we are going to add more examples and also exercise for us to what? Try our hands on it. Thank you.